There we go. Hey, gang. Happy Sunday. All right, let's see. Mike, Animotion Music, Andy, Dr. Cynthio, Tracy, Matthew, Ranjit, Casual Noises. Nice. Hope everyone's doing well. You've been watching the tutorials all day? Okay, Casual Noises. Nice. I'm glad you like them. Pulse width modifier. Sudanva Bot. Hello. If you've been before. Nice. You hear echo? I don't know. All right. Let's see. So yeah, we have a game we can play. I don't know. I didn't work it out to a game, but Sci-fi references are good. I threw out a request for a Dune one. I got one. And then in the comments, people were talking about, or someone mentioned, maybe it was you, Matthew. Someone mentioned Bab 5. That's another good one. All the quotes from Bab 5 Dune, I'm a big fan. So feel free to throw those out there. Let's see. Moriel, hello. So today is real low key. Okay, because I've got the performance thing coming up, and I'm doing some composition on the side. I don't have anything I really want to share about that, and that there's a certain amount of stress leading up to the thing that I'm trying to avoid by relaxing today. I also was working on a completely different project, a composition project in the demo scene space, doing like electronic style music, very, very banger-y for a friend's demo scene production, which is going to a contest at work. And if we win, I'll get a new synth. So that's big. But then, but I was basically spent the last 48 hours sort of polishing that off. And that was this morning. So I didn't spend too much time on this since waking up, but that's okay. But that's been cleared. It's been shipped. It's off, locked. The final version is gone. So that's one less thing to worry about. So I'll be playing more with this and prepping for the presentation and stuff. So let's see. More Hitchhiker's Guide. Hitchhiker's Guide's good too, right? Because I've got the poetry in here, right? And there were some comments along the lines of my poetry is up there with Vogon poetry, right? So what would be the new synth? Well, I've got my eye on a Hydrosynth Deluxe, which isn't a new synth, but I don't own one. And I've also got my eye on a Take 5 because I don't own anything from Sequential. So there's that. And then who knows what might sneak out at NAMM, if anything. You know, I haven't seen anything that really lights my fire, but, you know, this and that. I have space for 2 more. I think I could probably fit 2 more synths in the studio. 2 more significantly, like Hydrosynth Deluxe sized synths. And after that, I'm pretty full up and things will have to leave in order for me to buy anything else. So, any Oberheims? No Oberheims. I did play with the Oberheim. What was it? I went to KnobCon in September and saw and laid hands on what is Oberheim's? The Trigon. And it was an Oberheim. It's like if Oberheim made a mini Moog, is what it sounded like to me. It didn't sound bad, but I don't know. It didn't move me. So we'll see how it goes. Some more modules. I have plenty of room for modules. I can always get more modules. Well, maybe not in this case. You meant modular modules? I was thinking desktops. I've got a room for a few more desktop modules too, right? So could happen. The PS3300 is out of my price range. So I would buy, if they reissued the desktop version or a rack mount version of a MS-20, I would totally buy that. Just to have, I like the MS-20 sound, and I've got a K2, and it's good enough. But I would like a Korg breed MS-20, kind of like the Mini Moog. I wanted a Moog family manufactured Mini Moog. I would like a Korg manufactured MS-20. So I cannot get any more Eurorack cases. I made a promise to myself. So virus would be nice if it's just unsupported. That's the problem that bugs me. And I know there's like community support for the virus, but I just can't. I can't pull the trigger on it. Being a nerd, I'm just like, you know, if one fell in my lap for an amazing deal, I'd get one. But they hold their value because they're good synths. So nah. Plus, I have a whole bunch of virus-like synths in the box. So as far as like getting the sound, I don't know. I know it's well loved. Everybody loves the virus. Anyway, so I've got this drone running in the background. It's the same drone from yesterday, just more. Turn the resonance up. Being washed by a hell of a lot of reverb, so any changes take a second for the tonality to come through. Here's a question. Think about this. Well, hang on. Let's see. Virus. I have a Waldorf. I've got a Blofeld. I like it a lot. You have to apply external effects to it, but it's just pretty good. What was the first movie whose soundtracks... I hate to sound like a preschool teacher. Okay, children, answer me this. You can ignore this question if you don't feel like answering it. But what was the first synth soundtrack that you noticed where you were like, that sounds cool, and you're like, I want to make those kind of sounds? Because for me, it was Flash Gordon from the 80s with the soundtrack by Queen. Like all the effects in that movie, you know, the laser blasts and everything like that, they were all like right off the synth, right? Forbidden Planet, yeah, Krell. The Krell stuff from Forbidden Planet is pretty amazing. Although I didn't see that till like the 90s is when I first saw Forbidden Planet. Midnight Express, nice Popcorn. I think everyone knows Popcorn, right? Tron, yeah. Tron, interesting because Tron was synthesized and equally synthesized and orchestrated too, right? And it was a good blend. But I was already in synths at that point. Classic Who? Oh yeah, absolutely. Whole opening of Doctor Who, right? That was always amazing. Anyway, all right. So let's see. What are we going to do today? So I'm not playing you any more of the story. I'm holding that back so that it can be for the performance. It's not like there's a twist or anything to it, right? It's just narrative poetry. But this is for Adri. I don't know if he's here, but if he watches it later, we'll see how low we can go. Oh, that's it. That's the bottom of the oscillator. If I go any lower, it's going to go LFO. It doesn't want to respond the way I've got the rig set up. There's a limit. I've got some hard stops on the MIDI that'll pass through. Anyway, all right. So I'm not going to play you any more of the story, but I've got a bunch of composing to do for the parts that lead up to the story, and so between now and tomorrow night, I'm going to get a bunch of that done. Luckily, I work remotely on Mondays, so I can sort of work early, like skip showering, skip sanitization, all that stuff, right? And work on some music before I start having meetings for the day and do those. My lunch, I can run in here and do some composing, right? And then And then in the afternoon, I don't have any travel. I could just like, well, maybe as long as nothing's like hanging over me, if I get all my deliverables, right? All my ducks are in a row, all my duckas, I can run in here and get a jump start on this before my wife comes home from work. So tomorrow's going to be a big composition day if I can, right? So, oh, Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, I forgot about Axel F, man. Harold Faltermeyer. What a great guy. I don't know how to pronounce that in my case. Koyan Squatsi? Is that Philip Glass? I don't know who that is. Let's see. Hey, Quattro Bigina. Nice. Welcome. Welcome back. Let's see. Yeah, the drone is just droning. Let's see. Keep up. Don't listen to the original soundtrack stuff. That's fine. For all the young nerds out there, give me if you feel like it, throw out an anime soundtrack that you really like, either for the synths or just because we're nerds, right? Yeah, Philip Glass. Yeah, I prefer. I don't prefer. Another one from Philip Glass I like is the one about the dam in Central America. I think. Itaipu. That's a good one too. All right. So anyway. So I'm not going to play any more of the story. The drone's running. I've got a few things composed here that are empty. They're sort of like they're sketches that are blank, right? Like this one. I need to do a little mixing. Hold on. I turned the drone way up. So this is an empty bed, all right? And what I mean by that is the story is going to play, and then it's going to jump to this section. Right, the only thing playing in here is the Glock, little matriarch. And the bass. So you'll hear the story bit. I'll flip over to this, and then I'll add some summit. Interesting. MIDI's going through, but it's not getting transmitted through. I think I've got my software may be screwing with me. Hang on a second. Oh, no, it's just on that synth. All right, so something's wrong with that synth. For me, the hardware keeps crashing. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I'm an idiot. Because I transposed everything down. I think that's why. Hold on. All right. I was kind of rushing while I was setting up here. So not all the ducks are lined up. Anyway, so that's a scene, right? I'm going to do something over top of that. And then another one would be this one. Right? So you get a story verse, it jumps to this, then I'm going to play over it. So I'll play over it, and then I'll break it down, and then we'll build something up. We'll do some build-ups after this. I'm just going to go through the canned post-story segments. And then this. A little more dramatic part of the story occurred just before this. Fourth story segment, and then we go to this. And this is actually a key change in it. This is the bit that comes after the happy part of the story. Final bit of the story, and then I don't actually have an ending yet. I think the ending was just going to be a live loop that I tear apart. I don't know. We'll see what I end up composing between now and tomorrow night.
In the dark expanse of cosmic sea,
I'll give you a little piece.
A vessel flew towards destiny. Our wayfarer's ship, both strong and light, bore dreams of home beyond our sight. Across uncharted paths we sailed, our hearts aflame, our sights unveiled, seeking refuge on distant sphere, a haven from trouble, war, and fear.
And we'll go back to the root. Anyway, so there's a little bit there. Some of my cheesy voiceover. So, let's see. John Carpenter movies, nice. Brad Fiedel, oh yeah, definitely. Talk about movies that you noticed synth soundtracks or what was formative for you. The radio series from Hitchhike, that was good. I've listened to that on tape like 10 years ago, maybe. So let's see. Thief soundtrack, yeah, Tangerine Dream. Nice. Hey, Amphonics. Liam O'Dell, hey. If I've missed anyone else, Rob. I try and say hello to everyone, but I miss you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's see. I've been changing around the modular patterns. Let's do that. Let's expose you to some of these things. All right, some of our metros here. I think they're not. Are they muted? Yeah, they're muted. Let's unmute one, shall we? Take the drone down a little bit. All right, so this pattern starts out relatively easy. Just keep the matriarch around so I can play over it. So this is a 3-stage pattern, right? So we'll make this, take it all the way out to 8 stages, and you can hear everything that's in all the stages. All right. So that's all stages. There's a little ratchet there, and one particularly long stage, so it rests. Now, these pitches in these pulse counts are mated to the second voice. But the second voice, the first voice is doing like a ping pong thing. It goes out and back across the stages. And the second voice is doing the same thing, but it's doing a pendulum, which is one extra step. I may get them backwards. Pendulum and ping pong are a little different in that they both go out through the stages and then back through the stages. But when it's out all the way, it only does it once, covers that stage once. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's like actually 15 stages it goes through. And the other one does 16 stages. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. So one's doing the first one, the other's doing the second one. So they're actually in phase, and then they go out of phase, and then they come back in. So it's another way to do pattern phasing in the sequencer itself. Let me unmute this other voice. Right? Now they're out of phase, but they're still playing the same notes, so harmonically it's related and interesting. I'll shut up. You listen. I really like the sequencer. I could just leave the drone in this going and take a nap. But let's put a little bass line over it. Since the drone's already in the low end, we'll keep the bass up high. I'm going to put a four bar pattern over this. So what am I doing now? So I'm building stuff up. I'm going to do some live looping to build up these patterns, which is what you're going to hear in the performance too. Live loop pattern, a little baritone or tenor bass, kind of mid-range kind of thing going on. We can transpose it around. switch hands. Anyway, so that's a build-up example. So we'll do that in the performance. Hopefully I'll be able to remember that melody. Just like, oh, quick improv. Sometimes the muse is there. Sometimes they're not there. All right. So we were talking about modular patterns. Let's yes, please stop. Thank you. That's weird. Come on, man. Do what I say. All right, fine. More extreme. When it doesn't listen to the stop button, we delete it. I don't know why that's happening, but that's all right. All right, so I was talking about the modular patterns. So these are the two coming off this sequencer. So if we talk about the other two, over on this side, hang on a second. Bing. There we go. Oh, I messed up. I meant to hit the mute button and I stopped the sequencer. Now we got to wait a minute and I'll read the chat while it resyncs. Whoops. All right. Let's see. We'll bring the drone up to keep your ears entertained. Yeah, ping pong. Ah, thank you, Andy. Yeah, ping pong plays at the end twice. Hey, Adri. Yeah, the transposition's working. Now, the JT4000. I don't know what that is. I'll have to go look it up. Hey, Carl. Howdy. All right. Let me see here. Let's see if it's in sync now. Hit mute, not stop. All right. So these patterns are both linear. So both of these are going through at the same time, in the same order. And I will give you a taste of the stages for this one. That's 3 stages. Let's take it to 4. Same tonality. There's nothing crazy in the early stages. What I usually do is have my first few stages be root or 5th, and then maybe 3rd or 6th on the later ones, and then weird accumulator things towards the 7th and 8th stages. Here's a 5th stage. It's the 3rd. Let's add the 6th stage. I honestly don't remember what's out here. Actually, let's just add them all. 6, 5. Six, 7, and 8. All right. So it's not a hook, right, as patterns go. So if you watch a lot of people who do Berlin School have really short patterns. This is the opposite of that in this case, right? I tend to do short patterns, but in this one, there's a really long one because I want it to work with the drone and be kind of spacey. Not hypnotic, right? Short drones with a lot of duckas are hypnotic. Long ones with empty space, a lot of rests, are cosmic. Especially with the delay and reverb. Right. This is good for the cosmic feel, and then the counterpart pattern is doing this. Actually, let me play it in isolation. So this is the counterpart. So this one's short enough that it's a bit of a hook. Right, it's just a 4-bar. That is like an earworm, right? So if you have an earworm running with the cosmic thing over it, it's a bit of a hook, but it also doesn't get too boring for your ear. No less ear fatigue. These are my opinions, by the way. You could tell me to go to hell. I'm going to bring in the resonance squeaking on the drone. I got to play over this for a little bit. Pattern was not as long as I thought it would be. The greatest improv, but we'll see. need to mute my mic when I play the subsequent because the keys are clacky. So what happens is the mic picks up the clacks and ducks the audio. What film is this from? Sort of. Pulsewidth got it first. Liam could have gotten it first, but it was probably network latency. Push is much quieter than the keys. But I can't transpose now. Got to flip back and forth in order to transpose, so I still need a control surface. Go back to the modular here. All right, so those are the patterns that are in there right now. So if we were to layer them all just for giggles, now we're in Deedle Deedle music mode. Here's something I haven't done during a stream. crank the distortion? Nah, it's not that appealing. That's distorting the delay feedback. Yeah, it's not fun either. That's okay. Let's get together a giant deedle. I need a little sharper pluck here. And I need more light to see. There we go. So that's a mess. Let's see what happens when we transpose it, just for giggles. Hear the modular. It's still kind of a mess. It's okay, but it's not great. Like I said, they're not all winners. Less is more, right? Always less is more. Well, maybe not always, but often. I'll pay attention in a second. 4:49. All right, let me read a little chat here. Let's see. All right. I'm looking for good movie references. No, we had plenty of those. Let's see. Alrighty, let's see. Quickly scanning through. Hey, Davi. Welcome. Glad you made it. Andy has been painting today. I saw a photo of someone who wrote the phrase, "I hate painting," on a wall somewhere. Let's see. The credits, yeah, it needs the bass ostinato. Yeah, that's true. But, you know, that's okay. I don't want to totally like plagiarize. Come to the stream and just hear Vangelis. I did enough of that this month. Anyone know Space Patrol Orion? Is that an artist or a series or a television show or a film? I'm curious. Let's see. And Animotion had to go. That's fine. Good to see you. Let's see. Yes, territory. Yeah. Well, I'm a prog head too. Berlin School of Prague. Plus the bass. The bass makes everything sound like prog. Let's see. Behringer Pro VS Mini. Prophet clone. I'll have to go look at that. Or maybe I know about it and I just, yeah, it's okay. Let's see. Inverted Popes. Hey, welcome. Let's see. Oh, you just popped in. Well, I'm kind of winding down. I got about 10 minutes to go. Let's see. It's a German TV show, pre-Star Trek in black and white. Oh. Are there bootlegs of it available on YouTube? I find that like almost every old series is somebody who loves it is publishing like little bootleg copies on YouTube. You can at least see scenes from it. So I'll look it up. So Space Patrol Orion. All right. Well, it's in the stream now. So when I'm trying to remember what it's called, I'll come check the stream. Just search for Orion. Okay, cool. That was almost the name of the captain in my story, but then I opted not to give her a name. So we'll see. Let's see. So what's going on as far as we got 2 days left? What's today? 28th, 29th, 30, 31? Right. This is stream number 29, I think. So I've got 2 more to do. I'm sort of doing a day ahead because time zones are a thing, and I don't know, jump the gun. 1966. Very cool. So tomorrow's going to be composition day, fitting some stuff in. And then I'll probably won't do anything because leading up to an official thing, this is kind of an official thing. I'm going to do when I promise in advance, if there's a commitment to say I'm going to do a thing, there's a certain amount of internal pressure to make sure the thing is good enough, right? So what I need to do is I'll decompress the day before and I won't work on anything at all. And just like set everything up and get it all situated and have a little plan in my head. Like, what am I going to do? Because it's mostly improv that we're looking at here, right? There's some pre-recorded story and there's a scene for each story, but it's mostly improv. And you've been looking at my improv for 30 days now, basically. So there are no surprises, not really. And then I'll just try and give you an entertaining, bit. The story's really short though, so the whole thing is probably going to be 20 minutes. So, and it's on a weekday, so it's a 30-minute stream anyway. But that's about it. And then what will happen is I'll start. I'm going to cut way back on streaming. I'm going to stream like once a week, maybe twice, probably once. And really, and then I've got a huge backlog of like things I want to do, like in the synth domain. So like for all of you who are participating in January, and I know some of you are, maybe several of you are, January makes it so that all other synthesizer progress stops, right? I have 3 conversion kits sitting across the room, leaned up against the wall for converting keyboard synths into desktop synths and take the keyboard off. I've got 3 of those I got to run. I have two kits to build for the Modular, 2 passive attenuator kits, because it's the only thing I'm willing to build, because they're like $25 each, and if I screw them up, I don't feel bad. But it's practice. It's practice soldering with something where I'll know if I do it wrong. So, but I've got those kits to build. I've got, I want to rotate some synths out and in. And then I want to focus on building some new patches on a couple of the synths that I own but haven't touched in a while. There's an Iridium sitting over there that's like has a dust cover on it, but if it didn't have a dust cover on it, it would be broken. There's so much dust on the outside of the dust cover. And who knows what other synths are coming. But and then from the channel's perspective, I've got a bunch of videos I want to do. I'd like to do a video that just sort of breaks down January, like why did I do it and how did I go about it and what was the plan and what happened, because back in October this was just a box in my attic, well, in storage. I don't have an attic. I do have an attic, but it can't be used for storage. Anyway, the only thing up there is mice and utilities. But in October this was just a case in my closet from 10 years ago when I was really into modular. And I was like, I got out and I was like, never again. But I held on to it because you can't really see it, but it's built by hand. My son and I made it when he was 8, and he helped me pick out my first oscillator, right? So, and it's got circuit boards. It's green, like circuit board green, with silver traces painted on it in lines that are like 3 inches wide, huge wide circuit traces. That's him, and he signed it in the back, right? So it's like sentimental. I'm never going to get rid of this enclosure, but I still had it. And then back in October, it was like, I should do. What do I want to do for January? And I was like, let's do modular Berlin School. Ha ha ha. Right? And it wasn't that serious, but then it became serious. So, so I want to do a video on all this. There's comedy gold there. And then there's some just plain old Berlin School videos I need to bang out that I've got just in the burner that I wanted to work on. So yeah, but let's see. Commitment pressure is real. Yeah. Commitment is really the only kind of deadline that works for me. I have to say publicly, I'm going to do this thing on this date, and then I'll actually do it. Right. Oh, the NaNoWriMo. Oh my God. I thank God I'm not a writer, right? I couldn't do that. That's too much. There's like words. Oof. Soldering projects. The synths must flow. There's a Dune reference. There you go. Nice one, Mike. I need at least 48 hours in the day. Yeah. The days are going faster now that I'm getting older too, right? It ran under the original German Orion TV series ran under the title Raumpatrouille. That looks like a combination of German and French. I speak a tiny bit of German and a tiny bit of French, and that word Raumpatrouille, that looks like it's French at the end. Patrouille? I don't know. Anyway, Die Fantastischen Abenteurer. Oh, see, that's my French accent. I do these French R's when I'm trying to speak German. Des Raumschiffes Orion. I'm sorry. I really apologize to the German speakers. I'm butchering it. My last name is Stark, but it's not Stark. So anyway, we won't go there. Iridium. Fairburn, I'm sorry. I apologize. You could do a best of reel. I could. I might. There's a guy on the Discord server who does a weekly recap of his January rather than the reels. Oh, that's the other thing. I stopped doing the daily highlight reels because it's just too time consuming. I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. Hey, Soup, welcome. I remember the handmade half empty box. Oh, is that a Dune reference? I don't know what that is. I mean, I remember the Gom Jabbar thing, but anyway. Dreamed about it for a while, got into it. Oh, about writing. Yeah. Oh, wait. Which synth are we talking about? Oh, the Iridium. More real. It is a beast of a synth. That's the problem with the Iridium. The main problem with the Iridium is it's too deep and it offers you too many options. Like you could buy, if you had an Iridium, you'd be good for at least a year if you really wanted to internalize everything that it does. Just because it's got five synthesis methodologies in it, and I've only cracked like 2 of them. And then I was got distracted by other things, right? So I have to go back to it. And all my plans besides my day job. My day job is Let's see. Someone asked in the other stream. I tend not to talk about my day job because I don't want to make the mistake. Like, I don't give specifics because I never want to make them be in the situation where someone says, you said something online and mentioned work, and now people are like, oh, you're a spokesperson for your place of work, and I'm absolutely not. Okay. I do not speak for the business I work for. I speak for, when I talk about nerd work things, I speak for software development principles, which is something I teach, right? I have opinions on technical debt, which is something I write tools to detect, right? So there's some insight into me, right? But no, I'm not a spokesperson for the company I work for. And I'd like to keep it that way. Let's see. Black Noise Modular. SAMC is a nice virtual attenuator or mixer. I will look into that, Matthew. Eric, welcome. Let's see. Luke is wielding a third wave, so there's not much need for an iridium. You know, they're very different. The iridium and the third wave are so different that I have no problem keeping both of them in the collection, because I really think of the third wave as a PPG that has morphed into something like a sequential synth, because like the filter chips in it are of the same lineage as the Prophet stuff. And if you load the right wavetables, and the way they've built it, it's a digital synth, right? But you can dial in analogness. And the people who have come up with the settings and curves and behavior of the analogness stuff did a really good job. And I'm not an expert, okay? Ooh, excuse me. I'm not an expert on what makes a Prophet, but I can dial in sounds that I think are very Prophet-y sounding, even though I don't own a Prophet, so I can't compare apples to almost apples, virtual apples, digital apples. I don't know. So I really think of the PPG, the third wave, as a PPG that does Prophet-y things. And I don't think of it as like the same family as an iridium. Iridium is a virtual analog, but also a sampler and a physical modeler and an FM synth, and so it's different. They're very different synths, and very little. So my collection has very little overlap. If I have two synths that kind of try and do the same thing, one of them generally has to go unless there's an emotional attachment to it, right? And the iridium and the third wave do not really overlap in my mind. Let's see. Casual Noise. You're buying one within 4 weeks? An iridium? Nice. Congratulations. Good German for a non-German. So I learned German from a guy named Ignazio Licina, my Lehrer, Herr Licina. And he was from Italy. And so the few times I spoke German right out of school, they were like, did you learn German in Italy? Because I had an Italian accent to my German. So believe it or not. Let's see. What else is going on? I am a Stark. Yes. You pledged my house. House Stark. Yes. That is the name of my family's private Discord server. So my wife and son and I all have our own little Discord server called House Stark that we use for communication and things like grocery lists and jokes and memes, right? My son moved out back in September, so my main communication with my son is through Discord. So let's see. The recap might be an idea. No regrets. Davi, Iridium has 5 engines. Yeah. What is it? I'm not even going to list them. They're over there. I'll try and list them. Let's see. Virtual analog sampling, which is like the particle engine. FM. Yeah, I have to go look it up. That's how long it's been. I haven't touched it in like a year. I got to go back to it. Yeah, they're very different. Anyway, so that's about it, right? Again, for me on the weekend, 5 o'clock is somebody in my house needs to make dinner, and then it's a toss-up. Is it me or my wife? Because I like to cook, and she likes to cook, but neither of us really likes the other one's cooking. So my wife doesn't like spicy food. I like spicy food. My wife doesn't like chocolate. So if you're ever coming over to an event and you need to bring a dessert or a sweet, bring chocolate. That'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. Or carrot cake. I am known as the destroyer of carrot cake. I said that in the last stream, I think, or maybe that was in a comment. Audrey, Adri, thanks. I like doing these live streams, and I'm gonna keep doing them. I started doing them really. I mean, I think I had like 6 live streams under my belt in the last 5 years, but this was fun. I just can't do it every day. Crazy. So I'll do it once a week. So everyone, we're in what I call exit limbo. It's let's start to say goodbye. Like you've got a party and people are leaving. So you go towards the door and then you get wrapped up in a conversation at the door. And then you open the door and they put their coat on, they step out and they turn around and say one more thing. You're, oh yeah, what about blah, blah, blah. And then you're in exit limbo. So anyway, everyone have a wonderful week coming up. I will talk to you all tomorrow. And I think that's about it. Thanks. Have a great night or a great day, whatever time zone appropriate. See ya.